Good morning. Our topic for today for module number 6 is about Excel. We're simply going to learn how to launch, what are the features, what are the common terms, what are the pointer style of the mouse, how do we navigate, and what are the basic steps for creating a spreadsheet, how to create, adjust columns and width, type and text of numbers, undo and redo, insert and delete rows and columns, text numbers alignment, format fonts, numbers, cut copy paste, print, and exit Excel. Now let me go to the introduction first. Okay. Excel is a powerful electronic spreadsheets program you can use to automate accounting works, organize data, perform a wide variety of tasks. It is also designed to perform calculation, analyze information, visualize data, and also includes applications in database and charting. Obviously, the way to launch it is simply click Start, click All Programs, and then select Microsoft Excel. You can choose whatever version that you have regarding for 2010, 13, 16, 19, or even Open 365. As you can see, the icon is similar to something like that. So what are the common features? So we have the access toolbars, the title bars, the ribbon, the formula bar, the worksheet, the view options, the new sheet, status bar, cell range, cell, name box, and file tab. So we have roughly around 12 basically features of Excel. We will going to explore them one by one later so we could able to be familiarize ourselves with all the things that we need to understand on how to utilize and maximize the use of spreadsheet. We go back. We go down. So these are the terms. Access toolbars displays access to commonly used commands. The title bar displays the names of the application file. The file tab replaces the office buttons. The name box displays the active cell location. The cell is the intersection of the rows and columns. The range is more the adjacent cells. Status bars displays the information of the current worksheet. New sheet allows you to add new sheet buttons. Ribbon displays the groups. Formula inserts and performs calculation. Worksheet is the grid of cells. And the last one should be the view options. Okay, for the mouse pointers, there are typically three types. The first one is the path cross. Simply selects a single cell to enter or retype data, while the drag, which refers to the content of the select, to be selected into a new location. The thin cross refers to, depending on the style, you can able to drag it down. So the cell would be actively computing all the necessary needed. These are the three things to a mouse pointer that you have to be familiarized. Okay, so basically the navigation in Excel is similarly the same with PowerPoint, MS Office. These are the common things. You can use the scroll bars, the arrow keys, the enter key, the tab, control home, control end, and the arrow keys. Excuse me for that. Now let's try to create an Excel. So typically this will be the first something like this. Since Excel is composed of row and columns, we can simply define the rows having a color of blue and white, and then which spells with the word example, items, research, publicity, honorariums, travel, lodging, total, something like that. While the columns refers to the fall, spring, summer, and annual. So the name of the cell for the budget guest speaker is A1, while A3 is the item. So 1, 2, 3. Column A, letter A, number 3. For the D3, D3, A, B, C, D. And number 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's how we press, and then how we create this one. Now for dragging, we can actually maximize, or we can simply fit the content of the cell by simply clicking the drag sign into a much wider, or you can put it out of it, or you can simply double click to out of it. To increase the column, you simply need to readjust the column to the original size, and then you can type the numbers. Now remember, when you type a number, all numbers goes to the right side and all text goes to the left. What you can actually do, justify it, you can put it in the center or in the right or in the left. It depends on how you want to display the text or the numbers in your cell. So by default, all the text goes to the left and all the numbers that you encode goes to the right. As for the undo and redo, is similar things that we do to MS Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, and Publisher. These are the things that you want to undo and redo. So these are the typical one. So we can insert a columns and delete a columns. Similarly to the tables in MS Word, we can insert a table, we can merge a table. At this time, we could also add rows, columns. We can delete columns, rows. Similarly, the same. So for the tables, we have rows and columns. In Excel, we also have rows and columns. Although we don't have a table, but it's similarly the same. You can simply insert, add, and delete. Okay. Obviously, as I've said earlier, you can have an alignment for your text and numbers. It shows here how you could able to do those manipulations. And also, you can change similarly the format fonts. In MS Word, we are allowed to change the formats, the style, the size. You can even have those things here in Excel. We can also format the numbers, what size, what type. You can simply generate the views. Okay. Similarly, this command is common, as we all heard about cut, copy, paste, which is available to all application of MS Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Publisher, Access, and all the things that we have mentioned before, OneNote, things like that. Now, if you look at this number 3, which is very small actually. An example, these are the different names given to the sheet. Budget, copy, account, loan, percentage, invoice. These are sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 4, sheet 5, sheet 6. These are all renamed. So the guide for your sheets will simply be easier to you to identify which contains the same thing. Now remember, the cell is a combination of rows and columns. The worksheet is composed of all the rows and columns with multiple cells, while the sheets belongs to the worksheet with the different types of sheets. So worksheet is one page, while worksheet also contains a lot of sheets. Now let's go to the next one. So how we could able to print an Excel? Obviously, similarly to whatever you could see, you just go to the print options, and then you can preview your worksheet, and then you could uh, print it out, and then everything will be similarly the same. Um, the point of understanding on how to print Excel is the same thing as we understand on how we print on MS, Word, PowerPoint. Those are common. Now, the last thing that we need to do is obviously before we exit Excel is simply to save all the changes that we have created in our spreadsheets. As again, we have two options. We have Alt F4, and then you can have it as an exit directly going to the exit options. You just simply close the close button, and then you could able to close it. Okay, so these are the things that we need to simply understand on what is that Excel will provide us. Let me just recap the whole thing. An Excel worksheet is composed of rows and columns. A cell is composed of one row and one column. It has an address which named A1. So A stands for column A, 1 stands for row 1. If it is in B2, that means column B number 2, or column B and row number 2. So cell address refers to the numbers of the column and a combination of letters and numbers which represents columns and rows. For the combination of the total cell in one worksheet, there are 65,000 plus number of it. So the number of rows around 65,000. Rather confusing, should be around 65,000, and then the number of columns is around triple X or triple Z. So that's why it's so massive or too large. The number of sheets you can have is around 256. Remember, you can creatively create at least a lot of computation. We're going to discuss that on our next discussion on how we handle those basic formula, how do we insert a formula, and how do we manage those errors that we, 8 errors that we actually encounter in Excel. Okay, thank you for watching. Hope you have a good time. You learned something from our discussion for today. Hope to see you next time. Thank you very much and goodbye.